Good morning, students. Welcome to the class on organic photochemistry. Today we will discuss photooxidation. When this diene is treated with singlet oxygen, when we treat oxygen under photochemical conditions, it generates singlet oxygen. If we don't use any sensitizer, it generates singlet oxygen only. So oxygen, in this case, diene, this will act as a diene, this will act as a dienophile, so that leads to a Diels-Alder reaction. Oxygen O double bond O, right? So dienophile. So it a pericyclic reaction takes place here to generate this structure. So it is a Diels-Alder reaction. Then when we reduce it, this peroxide, cyclic peroxide, will be converted to alcohols, because these two these peroxide bonds are on the same plane. So what we will get is a cis diol. We will get a cis diol. This is cyclic peroxide. Similarly, when we do the same reaction with the anthracene, singlet oxygen, then what is the product? So when we treat anthracene with oxygen under photochemical conditions, the middle ring will act as a diene because it is less aromatic. So the middle ring will involve in Diels-Alder reaction with oxygen. So the product is this side one aromatic ring and the other side another aromatic ring. So what is photooxidation? If we have a diene, then under photochemical condition, oxygen acts as a dienophile and that leads to a Diels-Alder reaction. I'll give you some more examples on this. Then what is the product? When we use sensitizer, without sensitizer, we will be getting singlet oxidation state, singlet excited state. But when we use a sensitizer, what we will get is we will get a triplet excited state, right? So to generate the triplet excited state, we used to use sensitizer in photochemical reactions. Sorry. When this molecule is treated under similar conditions, O2, HNO, sensitizer, then what is the product? So when we treat oxygen with this diene, we will have a Diels-Alder reaction, and we will be getting cyclic peroxide. Similarly, in this case also, this will act as a diene, so it will undergo a Diels-Alder reaction with oxygen. So the product is this is the diene and this is the diene. Of course, it is unstable, and under thermal conditions, it will undergo decomposition to give the carbonyls. Nascent oxygen will be generating, and we are getting two carbonyls. Plus nascent oxygen. So not only Diels-Alder reactions, it is also possible to have 2+2 cycloadditions with oxygen. When we have an alkene, then oxygen will involve in a 2+2 cycloaddition. So oxygen means it is having a double bond. So this alkene and this double bond will involve in a 2+2 cycloaddition. So the product will be of course it is cyclic peroxides are always unstable. When we treat it under thermal conditions, it will undergo a retro 2+2. Here it is 2+2. When we treat it under thermal conditions, it undergoes a retro 2+2. So that means these two bonds will break and they will give carbonyls. When we reduce it, we will get alcohols. When we treat it under thermal conditions, we will get carbonyls. When we have a trans double bond, the cyclic peroxide will be trans. When we have a cis double bond, the cyclic peroxide must be cis. Okay, you write the products. Just cyclic esters. Sorry, cyclic peroxides. So when we have E double bond, these two substituents must be trans. In the cyclic peroxide. So these two are trans. Here we will get cis disubstitution. So we have learned Diels-Alder reactions and 2+2 cycloadditions with oxygen under photochemical conditions. Not only these two pericyclic reactions, it is also possible to have an ene reaction. When we have an allylic hydrogen, when allylic hydrogen is available, then oxygen under photochemical conditions will undergo an ene reaction. I'll show you how. Here, oxygen will pick up the proton. Oxygen will pick up the proton. Then sigma bond electrons in carbon hydrogen bond will be polarized towards a double bond. Then double bond will be forming a bond with oxygen. Okay. So this is in reaction. The product is this is the new double bond generated, and we have peroxide here, alkyl peroxide. This is alkyl peroxide. So when we reduce it, what we will get here, it is allyl hydroperoxide. So when we reduce it, we will get an alcohol. We will get an alcohol. So it is allyl alcohol. Allyl alcohol. So when allylic hydrogen is available, allylic hydrogen is available, photooxidation conditions will lead to an in reaction to have allylic hydroperoxide. This allylic hydroperoxide upon reduction will give us allylic alcohol. Now you write the product. When it is reduced with sodium sulfite, what we will get? We will get an allyl alcohol. Take these problems. I'll indicate the allylic hydrogen. You try to give the product. So I'm indicating the allylic hydrogen here. And I'll indicate the allylic hydrogen here. Look at this example. Here we have three possible allylic positions. This is one allylic position. This is second allylic position. This is third allylic position. So altogether we have three allylic positions here. So we will get three products, three allylic alcohols here. Yeah. Now I'll discuss one important reaction. When we treat this molecule under photochemical conditions, this is the product. Now, how do we explain formation of this? It's a very simple thing. Under photochemical conditions, of course, we know the carbonyl is the first one to undergo excitation. So carbonyl will undergo excitation. It generates oxygen radical and carbon radical. Right. In the second case, what will happen? This double bond will break. So one radical will be migrated towards this carbonyl carbon radical so that a new double bond will generate. Here it is 1,2 diradical. In the next instance, what it will be? It will be a 1,4 diradical. So this will be the new double bond generated. Of course, we have a radical on oxygen. This is the new radical. So it is 1,4 diradical. 1,4 diradical. Now you see two phenyl groups are available on this carbon. When we break this bond, what will we have? We will have a tertiary and 2 times benzylic radical. That means that generating radical will be stable. So this will undergo a bond formation. Sorry, not that side, this side, this side. Sorry. So when this undergoes bond breaking, we will be generating a radical here, a radical here. So this radical and this radical, they will form a bond. So what will happen here is, it is 6-membered ring. Now it will become a 5-membered ring. It will become a 5-membered ring. And what we are generating? We are generating a tertiary 2 times benzyl radical. Of course, we have a double bond here, oxygen radical here. Then in the final step, what will happen? This radical will come back again. So this double bond will break down. So one radical will be polarized towards carbonyl oxygen. Another radical will be polarized towards this carbon. So what we are getting here, we are converting this molecule into a 1,3 radical. Now these two will undergo bond formation to generate the 3-membered ring. Sorry. These two will undergo bond formation to generate the 3-membered ring. Right. Now see, this is the same molecule, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In the next example, it is a similar example, okay, to the previous one. When we have two methyl groups, here methyl migration will occur. So the product is, of course, we get usual product. Okay, it is similar to the previous mechanism, but at the same time, we also get a product that results from the migration of methyl group. I'll explain this mechanism. Okay, this we know, right? So after 2 steps, what we are generating? We are generating this. Okay, then if it undergoes methyl shift, that means a methyl group will be shifting from this carbon to this carbon. Of course, again it is a stable radical because it is a tertiary radical. In this case also it is a stable radical, right? Then what happens? This bond will break down, so carbonyl will be regenerating. We have a radical here, we have a radical here. When these two combine, we will get this product, right? So this product is in line with the previous mechanism, but here if the methyl group migrates, this is the possibility. Okay, in the previous case also we can write pH here, pH here, so two products possible. Not only that, in the next example we can see oxygen migration. So when we migrate oxygen, we are generating tertiary radical here. So what we will get this product. So hydrogen from here will be migrating here. So we will generate a tertiary radical. This product is like this. Here it is hydrogen migration. Hydrogen migration. And the last example, it is one double bond addition. In the previous case, we have 6-membered ring, so only one double bond. But here we have a 7-membered ring, so we can have 2 double bonds. So these two will undergo same type of reaction. You practice this mechanism. What will happen? We will have a bond here, right? So this bond will break down. One, two, three, four, five, 6. And pH, pH, this is the double. Okay, it is similar to the first one, but one double bond addition.